Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Friday the 29th of November. Well, very interesting day on Thursday. Well, we only had one place, but we had was it three of them ran absolute crackers. In fact, two of them ran crackers. One of them, the other one ran okay, and the other one came absolutely nowhere. So without me going into the horses, I'm going to try and remember. So engaging Sam, I tell you what, it came round the bend. It was 50s. It was travelling as well as anything. It for me. I actually I watched the race afterwards once I knew where it had come, and I also knew the commentary of how it ran in the race, and I thought they should have put in there going well two out because it was travelling really well. It moved into third, it looking like it was going to just round the bend, travelling to challenge the first two. Then, unfortunately, it blew up right towards the end and just faded, and it came one place out of the placings at 50s. So that would have been a cracking start. The next horse, I don't know if you saw it run. Double Halo was it? Um, I was unsure of the colours because I watched it when I got back from work, and I thought, surely that can't be it. And he came round the corner again, and he couldn't hold it. There were some others being pushed along in front, and apparently it was 80 to 1. What was it, 80 to 1? Yeah. So we had an 80 to 1, a bit of an unlucky loser. So that was another one that absolutely. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but it's like crikey. Um, those were like, I think I even said in the video, not really clutching at straws, but couldn't be too strong on them. But the first two ran absolute crackers. I think they were the first two. And then the one that I also like the look of, was it Sarah's Gate or something like that? Um, that came fifth, well beaten, paying out first four, and Abbey Hill was never involved. So, to be fair, although it was a losing day, it was encouraging in my opinion. Um, So let me get on to Friday selections. So these selections are at Doncaster and Newbury. It's not great, if I'm being honest. I like the look of them, and I'm going to explain briefly why. Because I can't remember one of the horses the reason why I've picked it. Um, but let me get into it. So it's a 20 pence each way lucky 15 and a 50 pence each way accumulator. It's £7 in total, and it's genuinely £7 this time, not £10 and a £3 accumulator. So yeah, 20 pence each way lucky 15 and a 50 pence each way accumulator. So the first selection is Rickety Gate in the 11.55 at Doncaster, paying four places instead of three. So this is trained by Nicky Richards. Nicky Richards is in the headlines for having a fall of over from one of his horses. Unfortunately, he had a heart attack. Houston, Texas. Um, I'm a bit into these. I don't know if you notice. Like you'll see somebody score a goal in football. Oh, it's his 20. He's also celebrating his 28th birthday, and it's like, if I'd have known that before, I'd have backed it. Well, what I'm saying is, I'm just imagining the commentator saying, um, "What a tonic" or something like that for Nicky Richards having a winner. I haven't gone for it for that reason. I'll tell you why I've gone for it now. In fact, I can't because it won't show you the page. So what it is horse that had been. It's had two recent runs. On its reappearance run, it ran. This is all from memory, by the way. So give me a like for that. It ran at Kelso, and it won at Kelso over 2 mile, 5.5 furlong. It's regularly campaigned over 3 miles in the past, and it wants 3 miles. It just did well to win at Kelso. Did that mean it was well handicapped? Possibly, or probably. It then ran at Ayr. It ran a bit disappointing, but it raced prominently throughout over a trip, in my opinion, that was too short. 2 mile, 3.5 furlong. And in my opinion, sometimes if you don't like being prominent at Air, it's quite easy also to go off too quick at Air. And if you do go off too quick, the wheels can come off. Um, if you get it right I know this is kind of like obvious. If you kind of get it right with the pace, if you're slightly within yourself when you're travelling at air towards the front, it can be very very difficult to peg them back, as I've seen many a times at air. But I just can't get air right at the moment. But anyway, this isn't air. That race was at air, so it raced prominently, and it one I think it was one paced or no extra from two out, something like that. A bit of a disappointing run, but what was it? Did they ride it? Did they race it over an inadequate trip, looking for as a longer term future, as in like this race? I don't know, but this horse is one of the is definitely fit. There are, what I've gone for mainly is I've gone for horses that I like the look of, that look okay handicapped, are fit, but also the opposition. There's so many question marks. I think all four races there are horses, obviously because it's the start of the jump season. There are so many horses with large absences. One of the races is like there's several with huge absences, but also several of the horses have had wind operations in the races, so there's plenty of angles to go at, but this horse is fit. I believe it's in better order than what they think, and I think there could be a topical win for it, with the commentators probably also saying it's a tonic for Nicky Richards and all that kind of stuff. I've seen it happen so many times when there's a trainer or somebody in the headlines, and then all of a sudden they end up having a bit of a good run or something like that. So the second selection is Asta La Pasta in the 12:45 at Newbury, paying four places instead of three. So this horse, I'm going to keep it simple with this one. This is Dan Skelton, is in cracking form. I think there's huge doubts over the favourite. The last time the favourite ran is Paul Nicholls' horse. It's also owned by, or part owned by, Alex Ferguson. So that's the favourite I'm talking about. Excuse me. So the favourite on its chase debut, it fell heavily four out. Not saying it 1-1, but I think that's irrelevant. If For a horse to fall heavily on its chase debut, it's got to leave scar tissue behind when it knows it's going jumping again. That horse has got to remember, like, crikey, this hurt last time I landed. Last time I did this, I landed on my side. So it's like it's got to affect. I know it's probably been well schooled since, and it's probably had all the best treatment and all that kind of stuff. But I don't mean treatment as in injured, treatment as in like mentally, as in like well schooled and all that kind of thing, or whatever they do when they've fallen. I'm guessing they just well school them and stuff like that. But I just think that surely it's got to be at the back of its mind. We don't even know what kind of horse it is, as in like it could be a horse that lives on its nerves a bit. It could be, I don't know, but it could knock its confidence big time. And I think it's a 4-5 chance the favourite is. So it's definitely, I think it's, I'm sure it is. It's definitely worth taking on. And I think the most obvious one is Asta La Pasta. The third selection is Scarface, another obvious selection in the 2:30 at Newbury, paying four places instead of three. I was tempted to go for the John Joe O'Neill horse, but there just wasn't quite enough going for it. So I've gone for Scarface. This horse is fit. It ran behind its stablemate last time when it ran okay. It was, is it JR1 or JPR1? Um, I just think it's got a chance. Colin Tizard used to, I don't know what the strike rate was, right, or the profit and loss, but he always seemed to do okay for me. Colin Tizard did with his runners at Newbury, but so obviously it's his son now. But I think obviously the blueprint's been laid out. I'm pretty sure that Joe Tizard might put his own spin on things, but it will be generally how Colin Tizard did things. So I'm guessing they're still going for the same stamp of horse. And they'll probably still excel at the same courses where they normally do. So I think Scarface will continue that trend, and it should run its race. Is it well handicapped to win this race and win it comfortably? Not saying that. I just think it'll run its race, and it's just like fingers crossed. It's not a huge price. It's about eights or tens, so it's got a realistic chance. And offering four places instead of three, unless it falls, pulls up, or runs below itself, it should be knocking on the door. And finally, This is one of the more interesting ones. I quite like the look at this one. It's Astronomic View in the 340 at Newbury, paying four places instead of three. And this is especially one of the races where there are so many doubts over the others. It's Sue Gardner, Lucy Gardner. It's a horse that races near the front, either likes to lead or race prominently anyway. It's extremely fit. It loves dreadful ground. Sorry, it's fit, not extremely fit. It's fit. It loves bad ground. This one, so obviously it won't be stopping at the finish, or well, unless they get the tactics wrong. But it should be prominent throughout. Hopefully, gets a relatively easy lead, gets to dictate in front, and can ask a few questions of the horses. It can test a few wind operations of the others or large absences. So I just think it's got a good chance. So 20 pence each way, Lucky 15, and a 50 pence each way cumulator. So Rickety Gate is about 14s, I think it is. Asta La Pesta is currently at 9 to 2. Scarface is 8s or 10s, and Astronomic View, I think, was 12s. So those are all the prices, or roughly the prices. So if you can give me a like or a subscribe, I'll really appreciate it. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.